In March of 2026, the phone and email support lines for South Korea's National Pension Service completely collapsed. The NPS manages over $900 billion in retirement assets, yet for 2 hours, its internal systems were buried under more than 1,500 emails and a relentless wave of overseas calls. Thousands of teenagers and young adults, organized across global time zones, had systematically overwhelmed the fund's infrastructure. They achieved the kind of total operational shutdown usually associated with state-sponsored cyber attacks. The fans targeted the pension fund because it holds a 7.54% stake in HYBE. HYBE is the multinational entertainment conglomerate that manages the boy band ENHYPEN. By flooding the communications of the third-largest shareholder, the fans identified a specific point of institutional leverage. Mainstream financial outlets dismissed the disruption as a collective emotional outburst. They overlooked the technical precision required to identify and exploit a specific government-held equity stake to influence corporate policy. The catalyst for the disruption was Heeseung. Known as the ace of ENHYPEN, he excels in vocals, dance, and performance, making him a central human asset for the group. By early 2026, his work in music, touring, and brand deals had built an estimated personal net worth of $3 to $5 million. On March 10, 2026, BELIFT LAB, the HYBE subsidiary managing the group, released an official statement. The agency announced that Heeseung was leaving ENHYPEN to pursue a solo career, claiming the decision followed in-depth discussions about his individual musical vision. In previous years, fans might have mourned the departure through tributes and letters. This time, the massive ENGENE fandom responded by immediately launching a forensic digital investigation into the agency's claims. Instead of accepting the corporate narrative, fans began crowdsourcing a digital audit of the weeks leading up, questioning the reality presented by the agency. The official narrative presented a premeditated exit, a carefully negotiated strategy that both the agency and the artist had supposedly agreed upon well in advance. This diagram compares the agency's stated timeline with the artist's actual activity. Just days before the exit announcement, Heeseung asked supporters about the May European tour. An artist secretly leaving typically avoids making specific future promises, contradicting the claim of a long-negotiated departure. The digital footprint left by the artist's own actions suggests the exit was not a premeditated move, but an abrupt change in direction. 3 days after the exit announcement, the agency released the ENHYPEN World merchandise line. Every design in the collection featured the full 7-member lineup, including Heeseung. On March 15th, the group released the Japanese version of their album, The Sin Vanish. Despite his exit 5 days prior, the physical packaging and collectible photo cards continued to monetize Heeseung's image. Simultaneously, the group performed in Melbourne on March 14th as a 6-member act. On stage, Heeseung's vocal parts were redistributed, and his image was removed from the digital backdrops. Erasing the performer from the stage while selling his image in stores created a gap that indicated a chaotic, unplanned transition. The situation escalated when an unverified post from an individual claiming to be a BELIFT employee began circulating online. The whistleblower claimed Heeseung was seen crying in the company hallways, and that he had been forced out of the group against his will. The post alleged he wanted to release solo music while remaining a member of ENHYPEN. These claims turned the fandom into a mobilized consumer advocacy group. The response was tactical. Fans deployed LED protest trucks to HYBE headquarters, distributed boycott manuals, and demanded an institutional audit of the agency's management. By targeting the National Pension Service and the agency's revenue streams, the fans used their collective financial weight to disrupt corporate operations. Heeseung eventually posted a letter to fans on Weverse, but his use of the word suggested regarding his departure only increased the scrutiny. Fans interpreted the phrasing as evidence that the exit was an agency mandate rather than a personal choice. The scale of the disruption at the National Pension Service highlights the evolving structure of modern K-pop fandoms. These communities operate as digitally native organizations. They use their collective spending power to conduct real-time audits of the corporations they fund. The period where an entertainment agency could define reality through a single press release has ended. When an official story contradicts the digital footprint, these fan communities have the infrastructure to dismantle an agency's public credibility in hours.